to somebody, never again have sweets is unrealistic.
Yeah, it is.
But what you can do is learn to have the sweets when you're in control of the sweets and not when the sweets are in control of you.
Well, basically what they were saying in this study, though, was that the metabolism of sugar in a person who has a food addiction is similar in the byproducts that it produces to the metabolism of alcohol, which the theory in this, this has really not been proven, but that one of the theories is that when alcohol is metabolized, it produces a chemical that locks into your brain and is very addictive.
And wants more.
Yeah.
Just like sugar. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But it's doable. All of it is doable. Smoking, drinking, eating, drugs, it's all doable.
People do it.
When it's what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, to stop it. And it's what you want to do. It's absolutely doable. And if you don't, it's deadly.
Yeah, but I completely agree with you. It's that it's a change in attitude, is it not?
Well, I write in my book, again, I'm bringing up the book.
No, please do. That's why you're here.
Your thinking dictates your feelings, and your feelings can dictate your eating. So you have to get into the thinking. What is it I'm thinking? What is it I'm thinking while I'm eating? Because it's affecting my feelings, and sometimes we don't know what our feelings are, but we know what our eating is, our thinking is.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yes, that's very true. So let us go on to the book, and let's talk about how you publish this book, because authors are listening, many writers are listening. Many writers have really good ideas, but they really don't know what to do with those ideas. So how did you publish the book?
Well, I self-published this book through Abbott Press, which was referred to me. And this is my first book. I just had a publisher ask me to do another book. So,
that's wonderful.
So that's pretty exciting. And, we have a topic that we want to work on. But I self-published this book because this is my first book. And what I learned was, what's more important to you, time? And I felt I didn't want to wait a couple of years to get this out, that I wanted to get it out. I wanted to own the rights, which in the research I did, if you self-publish, you own the rights to the book.
Yes, you do.
So that was very important to me because those are my words. And those are my experiences in those books. And all the stories in that book, it may be a story to somebody, but it's my reality.
Plus the fact that having this, you have, through your lecture circuit, you have a place to distribute these books, to market these books, and as you've said, it is a collection of your work, and people who listen to your lecture, this is what they want.
Right.
And I agree with you. Self-publishing has afforded so many people the ability to get out something that they're passionate about or that they think is important without waiting for what I have found, conflicting criticisms. So
That's
after a while, you begin to, if you take the letter seriously, which I guess you should, you don't know where you should go with what you've written. And yours is certainly something that's helpful to people. So self-publishing, definitely the way to go.
It's funny because I've received so much feedback on this book through email, through Facebook. People are sending me messages all the time. And the one thing that I continue to hear is that it's very conversational. And I feel like I'm talking to you. And that's from people who don't even know me. So I think, well, okay, I achieved my goal.
Absolutely.
I achieved my goal. That was what I wanted.
Now, it just went right out of my head. I wanted to ask you, if people wanted to find, besides the book, if people wanted to find out about you, what's the best way to do it?
Well, they can look me up on Facebook, Margaret Marshall Assoc, ASSOC. It's the abbreviation for Associates. Associates, really. It's Margaret Marshall Associates, but long name. Or they could go to my website, www.margaretmarshall, with two L's, MARSHALL, ASSOC.com.
Okay, all right, so that's the best way. And do you, I know on my Facebook page what I'll do every once in a while is I'll say, well, if you'd like to read the first chapter of this book or that book, and I put a link to it. Do you do little...
I do something a little bit differently.
Like
I write from the pages of Body, Mind, and Mouth, and then I'll put...
So it's like a feature.
Right. I'll put a thought, a process, something that I think might help somebody without it being a long story. I don't put the whole long story in. I put the couple of sentences that somebody will say, I could do that. That
Yes.
makes sense.
Yes, there's so many tips of, the funniest tip I ever heard about eating was this one woman said, well, you know, I eat soup with a fork because it lasts longer and you don't get so much in your mouth at one time, and then your stomach will tell your brain that it's full sooner. So I thought that was pretty funny. What was the greatest challenge to this entire project? Because it's not just your book, it's it's your passion, really.
It really is my passion. It really is my life's work, and it's the way I live. So I never read another weight loss book because I knew someday I was going to write a book. And I never wanted anyone to say, oh, I read that in this book, or I read that in this book. I wanted it to be mine. And I read a lot of business books. Those are the books I read on how to build my business. So that's what I read a lot of. So I had an outline, and I think my toughest challenge was sticking to that outline because I wanted to go off in so many different branches, and that's just too confusing to the reader. So I kept having to pull things back and cut things out, and by the time it was published, I would think, oh, I took that story out. I forgot I took that story. I kept that one in. So I think my toughest challenge was sticking to my original outline.
So all of those little detours in the road, really what you can do is each one of those is another book.
Another branch. That's
Yeah,
right.
That's another book.
That's right.
What's your best tip for writers?
For writers, just stay at it. Know that you can do it. Know that if it's in you, it has to come out of you. And just stay at it. Just
Diligence.
Stay at it. Yeah, you know.
Because you have a passion.
If it's in there, it has to come out.
Yes, yeah, that's how I felt. I felt that it was a passion for me, but it was also a story that I wanted to tell.
See that?
And yeah, and then it's the diligence part it's
Stay
like
at
everything
it.
else, right? Even dieting.
Yes.
It's the diligence.
Yes. Stay
So,
at it.
It was wonderful to speak to you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you
It's
for
my
being on the
pleasure.
show.
My pleasure.
And keep up the good work because it certainly is.